Most of us don't get the opportunity to experience something truly strange. Why that door opens for some, who knows? But imagine the door swings open and you have no way of knowing what will come through and no way of getting it closed. Welcome to part 2 of Beings, an episode I'm calling Shadowy Agents.
Well, it all goes back to when I was a little girl and I was visited by this particular ET. This was when I was in 5th grade. I heard in my head, "Do your work." All right, let me think for a minute. It is the first week of December 2019. And my friend is going to come visit me for the first time in my home. And I was in preparation. I really liked having her in my life because I was just coming to grips with my lifelong history of being in contact with aliens, and I needed help. We were really close, and she was a confidant. She brings me this gorgeous poinsettia plant. It's beautiful. I talk to it a lot. And we just sit down and start talking. I love to cook, so I made a lot of food, and we eat and talk and laugh and eat and talk and laugh. And then it's time to go to sleep. At that particular time, I was being awakened by loud noises and lights and voices and buzzing sounds. As much as I tried to feel comfortable and safe, I was still a little bit on edge. So she went into the guest room, which was right across the hall from my bedroom. We say goodnight to each other, and she closes her door. I keep my door open, and we go to sleep. I don't remember what time it was that we went to bed. 10, maybe 10, 11, something like that. So she comes into my room, and she crawls into my bed. And I wake up, and I look at her, and she says, "I'm afraid." And then all of a sudden, I feel something behind me. And I turn around, a big black shadow that you can see the outlines of a hat and a suit. And it's practically up to the ceiling. And it's radiating this horrible energy. It's radiating this energy of, I want to consume you. I want to own you. I completely forgot about her. I'm just focused on this astral men in black that is a foot or two from my bed. So I told it, you have to go. And it said no. And then it felt like tentacles were grabbing me, the essence of me, and just trying to pull it out of me. And I kept telling it, "You are not going to win. I do not have what you want. You want fear. I don't have it for you. I don't have the food you want. Go, go, go." It was not loving. It was not kind. It was not polite. It was not nurturing. It was the opposite of all of that. Finally, I feel it release, and it just disappears. And I just go to sleep. I forgot about my girlfriend in the bed. I forgot about everything. I was exhausted. It was like I had just been in a battle for my life. Well, my eyes pop open, and I'm like, oh my God. So I go downstairs, and I start preparing coffee. And she comes downstairs. And we just looked at each other. I said, "Okay, I'll go first." I told her, she came into my bed in the middle of the night, and she said, "No, I didn't." And I said, "Yes, you did." And she said, "No, I didn't." I'm like, okay. And she said, I was in your guest room. I never left the guest room. And she said, I'm looking out the window, and in the sky, there are holograms. And one of them is a hologram of Jesus Christ. And I am being given information, mentally or telepathically. We can do this. We can make holograms of anything, put it in the sky, and fool you. That's a scary message. Why the men in black showed up didn't really hit me until after she left.
Why are you thinking Men in Black? Had you had a Men in Black experience?
Yes. This was several months prior. I have a friend who lives in Florida, and she's extremely intuitive, and she's an experiencer too. One evening, we're talking on the phone, and I said to her, I'm getting really sleepy. I have to say goodbye. She said, all right, but may I have your permission to do an astral travel into your home tonight? Basically, our energy is everywhere, and with just focused concentration, you can just be somewhere else and see what's going on there.
So she says, I'm going to come and peek in on you.
Yes. I was awakened by this very, very, very loud noise. My cat comes running up the stairs, goes under the bed, and I'm home alone. And I live on the inner banks of North Carolina, out in the country. There's no one around. I'm like, should I get up and go and see what that was? And I told myself, nope, I'm going to try and go back to sleep, and I will discover what that noise was tomorrow morning. So I did manage to go to sleep. Got up in the morning, I went downstairs, and it took me a while to find out what it was. And what it was surprising, because it was just one of those inexpensive roll-up window shades. It had fallen. That really made me scratch my head, because it's so light. It couldn't have possibly made that loud sound. It sounded like an entire shelf fell over. It was that loud. The very next morning, I get an email from my friend, and it's this mathematical scientific equation. I read her the equation, and she said, what are you talking about? And she said, I have no idea what that means. I don't even know how to write on my computer, F parentheses, X, whatever. So after we both just kind of ignored the mathematical equation, she then proceeded to tell me what she saw when she astrally came into my home. She said she saw a black cat, scared, and she saw me in the bedroom. And then she said she went to put her hands on me in a loving gesture, and she saw a very bright white flash, and she was stopped by a man in black who told her, do not touch her. We're working on her. Well, she drew a picture of it. It was a real man. It had the hat and the suit. It had clunky shoes. And it had kind of a weird human face, not a lot of hair, just kind of off. And so when she saw this bright white flash, she was in bed with her boyfriend, and her boyfriend instantly awoke. And he got out of bed, and he thought there was an intruder in the home. And he looked around, and they couldn't find anything. For the next several weeks, we have all these emails going between her and I, which none of us wrote. Most of the emails were coming from her. Only a few came from me. And there were information cosmological information, biological information, spiritual information, symbols, really fascinating information where I would have to Google to understand it, to validate it. That was fun. We had to solve this puzzle. It was this game, and I figured out the code. The message said, X marks the spot, star child. Be careful of technological something. When I went to go visit her in Florida, we were sitting on her couch, and I wanted to interview her for my YouTube channel. So we did an interview on her couch through my computer. And after we did the interview, I decided, nah, I'm not going to put this on my YouTube channel. I don't know why. I just don't want to. Well, then we get this email, supposedly from her, telling us to release the video, the white couch video. Turns out we were sitting on a white couch. Another time I was in a hotel room, and I get a message, and it's describing my hotel room. That freaked me out.
What's happening with the final emails?
We could not make heads or tails of them because they were just series of numbers and letters, and we couldn't figure out what they were.
What are you thinking while you're engaging in this exercise?
Well, I didn't know if it was legit or there was just some 13-year-old boy in the basement playing a joke on us. I didn't know. So I'm 54, 53, something like that. So this Hawaiian incident is the first conscious memory that I have of a big, black, shadowy figure. I'm in Hawaii because at the time I was with a gentleman who was working on the island of Kauai. I love Hawaii. So I was in heaven. It was the first time that I had spent the night in our house all by myself because he had left to travel back to the States, and I was going to travel back to the States the next day. So I go to bed, and I'm awakened because there is this black, shadowy figure trying to come into the bedroom. The bedroom had a sliding glass door onto the front porch, and it's at the sliding glass door, and it's trying to come in. I'm awake, and I see it, and I'm a little wary of it. Then all of a sudden, a whole bunch of people show up on the front porch, and they start playing music.
Like neighbors? Why are they there?
I don't know why they're there. Maybe they're there because they're helping me. Maybe it's some kind of Hawaiian, I don't know, angels, spirit guides, something. When I first came out, I was really afraid that the government was going to come after me. And so I thought maybe this is the government's way of checking in on me or accessing information. Is the United States government in a relationship with these interdimensional beings and using them to visit people around the world, visit experiencers around the world, collect data, maybe scare them into being quiet? All those questions were just going through my head. I have no answers to any of them. Then I hear this really loud noise.
Thanks for listening. Visit tuiarts.com for trailers, episode music, and videos. If you'd like to do more, get more, and contribute, visit the Patreon page at patreon.com/tuiarts. And lastly, if you like what you heard, please review and share the show. Nothing grows in the podcasting world if those two things don't happen. And thank you if you do. I really do appreciate it. Stay strange, folks. I'll catch you on the next episode.